So Sasuke has just recently lost his Rinnegan in the anime, but in the manga it has been gone for quite some time. Only having a Rinnegan for about half of his life, I would say that his case is a lot different from Naruto's. While they both lost something important, losing the Rinnegan is a lot different from losing Kirima in a lot of ways. So in this video I'm going to pretty much discuss how strong Sasuke potentially is now without his Rinnegan and how much it will affect him in the future. And yo, make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed the video, as it's free and it helps the channel out a lot. Now, just like the Naruto video, I think it's important that we cover how strong Sasuke was with his Rinnegan before losing it. Awakening his Rinnegan during the 4th grade ninja war, Sasuke was finally able to reach new heights. After the war, Sasuke had plenty of time to train and actually learn how to use his Rinnegan more efficiently. Just having the Rinnegan allows Sasuke to do a variety of things, such as quickly master any jutsu and use all 5 chakra transformations. He also had a very special ability, which I'm not going to lie, I can't actually pronounce it, but it allows him to switch places with any object or swap the places of 2 things. He used this ability quite frequently and was how he was able to throw his opponents off so much, and even though it sounds simple, it is incredibly powerful as it allows you to be elusive and get out of sticky situations. He also did have the ability to use space-time ninjutsu, which worked very well as he needed it to access dimensions when he was dragging the Isshiki. As well as using his own special Rinnegan ability, he can also use the 6 paths techniques and has access to all 6 paths. Now, he didn't actually use most of these abilities, in the anime that frequently, but it's still important to recognize that he does actually have access to these things. The Diva path, which allows you to attract or repulse objects. The Asura path, which allows you to enhance your body with mechanical augments. The Human path, free the mind of any target. Animal path, summon various animals and creatures. The Prita path, absorb chakra. And the Naraka path, which allows you to use the King of Hell to interrogate or regenerate a person's body. And lastly, there's actually a 7th path, which is the Outer path, which is a special one, but it allows the user to revive the dead at the cost of their life. Now, I know that was a lot of stuff, but the Rinnegan is just that powerful and grants the user a decent amount of abilities. While Sasuke hasn't used half of those paths in the show, like I said, the main abilities that he used was the one that switched places and the space-time ninjutsu. Now that Sasuke doesn't have these 2, I honestly think that his fighting style will not be affected that much. While it was crafty to be able to evade an opponent with ease, Sasuke at one point in time didn't have these abilities. So all it takes is him relearning how to fight with just a Sharigan, and I'm sure that he'll readjust for future fights. So Sasuke without the Rinnegan is still powerful because he has the eternal Genko Sharigan still. Everything that a Sharigan gives him access to, such as the Amaterasu, the Susanoo, etc., will still be viable when fighting some of these new enemies in Boruto. Now you have to remember that this is the Shinobi versus the new technology. Sasuke is going up against some cyborgs, so I actually think that, these cyborgs can't do anything like absorb chakra in some cases. Things like Amaterasu will be very useful, and later on in the video I'm going to talk about some things he can actually do with the Amaterasu that would be fairly useful if these cyborgs that he's fighting can actually absorb chakra. Now, one point I want to make about Sasuke with just a Sharigan is that in some cases, I honestly believe it's actually better for him. Now, I know we all joke around about how Sasuke never has any chakra, but there's actually a pretty good reason for this, and I don't think it gets explained enough. And maybe people don't necessarily understand it because I don't think they explicitly state it. I explained it in the video about their nerfs, but whenever we see Sasuke fight, where do you usually see him? You usually see him using his Rinnegan right beforehand, trying to track somebody and going to them, or maybe carrying a team of people to a certain place, just like in the Naruto movie. After he's using his Rinnegan to track the Isshiki, this takes up quite a bit of chakra, so by the time Sasuke actually gets to the fight, he kind of already drained himself somewhat, so you can kind of understand to why maybe Sasuke is out of chakra so fast, because he's been using up his Rinnegan to travel to these different places and to track down the Isshiki. However, I think now without the Rinnegan, this might actually be a good thing, because his chakra reserves may not deplete as fast. Him without the Rinnegan is not all too different from how he was before. Sasuke with the Sharigan, it was still pretty strong, and he will be able to function quite well. I mean, just think about how he was back in Naruto with the Sharigan. For a majority of Naruto, he just had a Sharigan up until the war. It's not like in Naruto's case to where Naruto had Kirima basically from birth to adulthood, and, to him becoming the Hokage. It's a little bit of a different situation considering that Sasuke achieved the Rinnegan a little bit later on in the show. Unlike Naruto, I do feel like Sasuke does have a much more diverse toolkit when it comes to his jutsus, but unfortunately they aren't shown too much in Boruto. But I think maybe with the loss of his Rinnegan, we can now see him incorporate some old techniques like the Kirin and Blaze Release, which utilizes the black flames from his Amaterasu. You know, I would love to see this more, as I did find it interesting how he used his ability back in Naruto to amp up some of his jutsus. You kind of remember, you know, even during like the 5 Kage summit, him using the black flames on his suits, no armor. You know, he can also use it to augment certain abilities and whatnot. So, you know, if these cyborgs are not immune to this, then I would definitely love to see him incorporate this a little bit more into his fighting style. And you know, let's not forget about his Kenjutsu abilities too, which is pretty much how proficient he is with his sword. I mean, the dude has one hand, but he's still able to outclass people with his swordsmanship. And just like Naruto, let's not forget about, you know, Sasuke's ability to quickly break down an opponent and figure out their weakness. I mean, look at the Jigen fight. When Naruto and Sasuke were fighting Jigen, in a matter of minutes, Sasuke had already figured out what Jigen's ability was and sort of actually conjured up a plan to, you know, combat his shrinking ability. You know, in the anime, I think they did a really good job of just showing how close they were to actually beating Jigen, and because Sasuke was able to figure out what the weakness was, they were almost able to actually beat Jigen a couple of times, but they were surprised plenty of times when things they were trying to do just didn't work out. I say all that to say that even with the loss of his Rinnegan, I think Sasuke, just like Naruto, will be just fine. You know, like I said before, losing the Rinnegan kind of sucks, but at the same time, Sasuke has things in his arsenal to make up for it. Moving to this next major fight, Sasuke, just like Naruto, is already preparing to take on Code, and it doesn't sound like he's worried about this guy at all. I'm curious to see how he functions without his Rinnegan, and it'll be kind of interesting to see if he incorporates some of his old fighting style in future fights. Sasuke, the moment he lost his Rinnegan and he got back to Leaf Village, was already hunting for Code and looking for signs that he may reappear, so Sasuke is ready for all the smoke, and I don't think him losing his Rinnegan is going to make him less confident in his abilities. I also have to mention this too, just like I did in the Naruto video, but I don't see Sasuke actually getting his Rinnegan back at this point. Sort of reiterating what I said about Naruto, but their respective powers were taken away for a reason, and this is pretty much to allow the main Boruto characters to get some more spotlight and just develop more. At the end of the show, if he's still alive, it is a possibility, of course, that they could pull some weird trick and actually get his Rinnegan back, but just for now, I think they'll let him run around the way he is. And part of me low-key feels bad for Sasuke because he has a one eye and now he has one arm. You know, the next thing they're gonna do is make him like lose his leg, so just pray for that man Sasuke. Sasuke has been down bad for quite a bit now. But yo, let me know what you guys think about Sasuke's current state. Do you feel that he's still strong without the Rinnegan, or do you feel that it weakened him a little bit too much? And how do you think he will fare up against Code? Do you think that he'll actually have a decent chance to fight Code, or do you think Code is going to stomp all over them? Remember, Code hasn't actually reached his full potential yet, so we're kind of just going off the current Code that we know right now. And also, who do you feel is stronger now? Sasuke without the Rinnegan, or Naruto without Kurama? Personally, I low-key feel like it's Naruto, but I'm kind of curious to hear what you guys have to say. Anyways, hope y'all enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and join the Discord. Peace.
So